Tiger Woods shocks everyone, defends Alexandra Eala, and SLAMS skin color comments live. The lights in the studio were blinding, the cameras rolling, and millions of viewers around the world tuned in. Sports broadcasts often showcase victories, highlights, and records, but today it was about something deeper: respect, humanity, and courage. Alexandra Eala, the young Filipino tennis prodigy, sat poised in a corner of the live broadcast. At just 18, she had already dazzled the tennis world with her skill, determination, and composure. But recent commentary, subtle, casual, yet tinge of prejudice, had reminded her of the challenges beyond the court. Tiger Woods, golf legend, global icon, and a man who had faced discrimination himself in the early years of his career, joined the panel from his Los Angeles home. He knew firsthand what it meant to be judged not only by talent, but by skin color. And today, he was ready to speak. The weight of words. Earlier that week, a sports analyst had made a remark on air about the dominance of Western athletes in traditionally elite sports, implying that Alexandra's success was an anomaly for someone of Asian descent. The comment had sparked mild outrage online, a ripple of unease among fans. But it was a quiet disappointment in Alexandra's eyes that cut the deepest. She had trained for hours in silence that morning, replaying every ball hit, every serve perfected, every point won. And yet, the sting of words she hadn't earned lingered, a reminder that the fight on the court was never the only battle she faced. Tiger had watched the clip with a heavy heart. He knew what it was to feel isolated under the scrutiny of millions, to have achievements questioned because of who he was. "This isn't just about tennis," he muttered to himself. "It's about every young athlete who's been told they don't belong." Arrival on live broadcast. The broadcast began smoothly. Discussions about youth development, the future of sports, and emerging talent. Alexandra smiled politely, her composure impeccable despite the underlying tension. Then the moment came. A fellow panelist, perhaps trying to provoke debate, casually questioned, "Do you think Western sports are ready to see someone like Alexandra truly dominate?" The phrasing was subtle, but the implication cut deeper than any critique of her game. Alexandra froze for a moment, unsure whether to respond. The weight of history pressed down. Young, talented athletes from Asia were rarely spoken of as equals in elite sports arenas. Tiger Woods leaned closer to the camera, his expression firm but calm. "Let me stop you right there," he said, voice low but commanding. The studio went silent. This isn't just about talent. It's about respect. And there is no excuse for questioning the worth of someone because of their skin color or heritage. A legend speaks. The silence in the studio was electric. Viewers leaned forward in their seats as Tiger's voice continued, steady and deliberate. "I know what it feels like to be underestimated, to walk into a sport that has its traditions and still have people doubt your place. I've been there, and I see it now. The same look of disbelief when a young woman like Alexandra wins points, sets records, or simply exists in these spaces." Alexandra's eyes widened, a tear threatening to escape. It wasn't fear or sadness. It was relief. The words of a legend validated what she had felt for so long. "Do not let anyone tell you that your skin, your heritage, or your background determines your right to succeed," Tiger said. "Your talent, your heart, and your dedication are all that matter. And Alexandra? She has all of that and more. The power of presence." Tiger paused, letting the words sink in. Millions of viewers held their breath, sensing that this was not a typical broadcast moment. "I don't speak like this lightly," Tiger continued, "because I know how hard it is to carry the weight of expectation and prejudice. But here's the truth. Courage isn't only about winning trophies. Courage is standing tall in the face of ignorance. Courage is proving day after day that you belong, no matter what the world says." Alexandra sat straighter, nodding slowly. The silence was no longer heavy. It was affirming. Young athletes all over the world, listen. Never shrink to make others comfortable. Never let someone else's ignorance define your journey. And Alexandra, keep playing, keep dreaming, keep showing the world the strength you carry. The reaction across the globe. Within minutes of the broadcast, social media erupted. Clips of Tiger's words went viral, with hashtags like #TigerForEquality, Hashtag Stand With Eala, and hashtag Sports Without Bias trending globally. Fans praise his courage and Alexandra's resilience. Commentators called it one of the most inspiring moments in sports television history, while young athletes from across Asia sent messages thanking Alexandra for her bravery and Tiger for his mentorship. It's amazing to see someone of Tiger's stature defend young athletes like this, tweeted one fan. It sends a message louder than any trophy ever could. Alexandra's reflection. Later that evening, Alexandra reflected on the day's events. Sitting in her hotel room in Tokyo, she watched the clip again. Tiger's words, his unwavering gaze, the sincerity in his voice. "I didn't know I needed that," she whispered to herself. "I didn't realize how much I needed someone to say that it's okay to belong." She wrote a short note to Tiger, thanking him for using his voice not for applause, but for justice. "Thank you for defending not just me, but every young athlete who's been told they don't belong. I'll carry your words onto every court I play on." The mentor and the protege. The next week, Tiger and Alexandra spoke privately via video call. "You did well today," Tiger said. "You didn't need to answer the question. You let them hear the truth through action, through your presence." "It was hard," Alexandra admitted. "Sometimes it feels like the world is watching for you to fail, not succeed." "I know," Tiger replied gently. Legacy beyond the court. Months later, sports historians and commentators revisited the live broadcast moment. They noted that Tiger's defense of Alexandra Eala was more than a viral clip. It was a pivotal point in modern sports dialogue. "It wasn't about Tiger Woods being a celebrity," one commentator wrote. "It was about him choosing to amplify the voice of someone younger, someone underestimated, and doing it with authenticity." For Alexandra, the moment remained deeply personal. She carried it into training, tournaments, and international competitions. And with each match, she remembered Tiger's words, "Never shrink. Never let someone else define your worth." Epilogue, courage that echoes. Years later, Alexandra reflected on that live broadcast as one of the defining moments of her career. She had grown not just as a player, but as a person. Tiger's message, that skin color, heritage, or background should never determine one's place in sports, echoed with every serve, every volley, and every point she played. The lesson extended beyond tennis. Courage, mentorship, and standing up for what is right can change the world. And in the hearts of young athletes everywhere, Tiger Woods and Alexandra Eala became symbols of a timeless truth. Talent knows no color. Courage knows no bounds. And integrity is the greatest victory of all. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and share. Till next time.